Good afternoon. You are joining me. I am Mr. Ish for this video here on trigonometric coordinates. It's an important subject. You can see this on any kind of exam, advanced mathematics, algebra, trigonometry. If you plot an xy coordinate, you know with regards to a reference horizontal that xy coordinate can be utilized to determine 6 trigonometric functions. In this video, we're going to be looking at just that. Before we do, you should remember this following tip. In the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant, the following rules apply. Sine, cosine, and tan are always positive in the first quadrant. Likewise, their reciprocals will also be positive. Cosecant, secant, and cotangent. In the second quadrant, sine is positive, but cosine and tangent are negative, and likewise their individual reciprocals are having the same signs as well. In the third quadrant, sine is negative, cosine is negative, but tangent happens to be positive. In the fourth quadrant, sine is negative, cosine is positive, and tangent is minus. What you will realize from here, for any given trigonometric function that is positive in 2 quadrants and it's negative in 2. Sine is positive here, cosine is positive in these 2, and tangent is positive in these 2, and likewise same applies to their individual reciprocal functions. Alright, how do these questions look like? The question is usually a spin-off from the unit circle concept. You have to plot a point, then you have to find the relevant function. If you are tasked with plotting 2 comma minus 1, you know you're going to go 1, 2, and then down here 2 comma minus 1. If you're in the fourth quadrant, then you're asked to find the sine and the cotangent. How do you go about doing this? You make from the origin, you connect your dot. Go to the nearest reference horizontal here, which is 0, 360 line, and go upwards and make a right triangle. And we have blown up this right triangle, and this is what we're looking at. We've gone 2 across and minus 1 down. You have to find this using the Pythagorean. A square plus b square is equal to c square, and this right here will be root 5. Now you're asked with finding sine theta. Theta will be this angle with regards to your reference horizontal. So what will sine theta be? Sine theta is always, as you know, opposite over hypotenuse, minus 1 over root 5. If you did not employ negatives here, it's fine. Just remember you're in fourth quadrant, therefore sine must be negative. Cotangent. Cotangent with regards to this theta must be adjacent over opposite, and your answer would be minus 2 over 1, or you can say minus 2. Again, if you didn't have a negative here in terms of the side dimensions, it's fine. Just remember in the fourth quadrant, tangent and its reciprocal cotangent must be negative. Alright, we have the second question, the last question for this video. You have to be comfortable with these type of questions. Plot minus 4, minus 3. You know, just by looking at those x and y coordinates, we are looking here at the third quadrant, and you have this point coming out here, minus 4 comma minus 3, connected to the origin. Find your nearest reference horizontal, which is this pi or 180 degrees. Make a right triangle. You can pluck out this right triangle. I'm only plucking it out for the purposes of this video. We've gone 4 across and we've gone 3 down. We have to find tangent and secant. You know, in the third quadrant, tangent will be positive. Secant must be negative because cosine is negative over here. If this is 4, this is 3, this must be 5. It's one of the trigonometric ratios, 3, 4, 5. Remember that. One of the trigonometric ratios, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 5, 12, and 13. Those are our 3 trigonometric ratios. Anyhow, tan is always equal to, with regards to your angle, which is this right over here, is equal to opposite over adjacent. It'll be 3 over 4, and that'll be it. You could have done minus 3 or minus 4, but the minuses would cancel out and you'd still have a good answer. So tan theta over here is equal to 3 over 4. How about secant theta? Well, to determine secant theta, you can first just determine cosine theta, because secant is the reciprocal of that. Cosine here would be adjacent over hypotenuse. It would be 4 over 5. But you know cosine has to be a negative. In this third quadrant, we can just put minus 4 divided by 5. When you do the reciprocal of this, you get a minus 5 over 4. And both of these answers must be good, and they are right. And that concludes this video. Again, remember, plotting a point, this whole concept of doing trigonometrics using coordinates stems from the unit circle. We can talk about that in another video. Once you plot it, you connect that coordinate to your origin, make a right triangle, and based on which quadrant you are, you determine the sign of that function you're trying to determine, and from there you take everything else. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.